Good evening. Brian here at about 20 after 11 on the 5th of May, 2020. And I'm just starting up again with another live stream. This is later in the evening. This place is pretty quiet now, so I don't have any problems with that. So hopefully when I run this stream to see if there's any background feed, we should be able to determine if there's anything that's causing strange noises. I had some extra noise earlier today where I had sounded like some whistling in the background, so hopefully that will take care of itself. Today I had a pretty good day. It was pretty normal. I basically had to deal with some phone calls today and helped a friend of mine order some stuff on Amazon, and then I had a couple phone calls I dealt with, and then I dealt with my therapy, both my breathing and my PT, my physical therapy for my legs and other things because of my CP. Right now, the COVID-19 stay safe order is still in effect and probably will be until at least the 15th, and possibly after that. For me, I probably won't have to worry too much about that, but I still will continue to work to see if we can get stronger. I was in the process of going swimming twice a month or twice a week here at one point, and then it moved to, I believe it was once a week, every other week. So I was doing that, and then COVID hit. So we're still in lockdown. We're still in stay home, stay safe order. Right now, I've been spending most of my day just most of the time is online, and I've been doing a lot of that, been helping a lot of people, been doing a lot of stuff on the website, and been dealing with getting all my medicine straightened out, making sure that I'm not coughing anymore. And this is like the third day where I have not felt as bad as I normally would. Normally, I would be coughing so bad that I couldn't even carry on a conversation like this. So hopefully we're getting to the point where I will have the necessary medicine. I will have the necessary instruction on how to use it, when to use it, and why to use it, so that I can actually use the medicine when I have a issue and I cannot breathe or I start coughing like a maniac. As I said, today I got the new webcam that you're seeing me on, and unfortunately there seems to be a lot of light that's in my face, so I don't know if I need to adjust something in here or if I just need to back up a little. So maybe I should back up just a little bit so that I can be seen, because I was right in the lens of the camera. I've had to adjust it a couple of times, so hopefully this will be a little bit easier to see. And probably I looked a little washed out, so that's probably what it is. But I can assure you that so far everything is working according to plan. I thought the microphone was a little bit scratchy to start with, but I think once I get used to it and I actually speak a little louder, it will make a big difference. And as this week winds down, I will have my birthday on Friday, and I will be 48. Normally about this time of year, I would be preparing to take a motorcycle ride, but unfortunately because of COVID, that may not happen yet. Need to get through this and get the order modified so that we can safely do that. I hear that social distancing or physical distancing is what Vermont Governor Scott calls it now, physical distancing, will probably be here for a long while. Masking will probably be here for a while. And as they start opening up outpatient outpatient clinics and stuff like that, and doctors' offices, and going taking care of your teeth, or going to the dentist, that should take care of some of that. I had an appointment with a dentist uh, sometime sometime at the end of February or beginning of February, and I had to call him and find out what was going on towards the end, because I think it was sometime in I think it was the end of February. I had a dentist appointment. I was actually told that I had to cancel that because of the COVID situation, and so we did. I also canceled all of my outpatient appointments, my therapy and my swimming and all that stuff. So all that's gone for now, and I have been communicating with medical doctors and stuff by Zoom and by using the phone. People have been checking in with me every day, so it doesn't seem to be that bad. As I said, Friday is my birthday, so I will be looking forward to that, because I'll see my stepdad for a few minutes, and I like to have that happen, so that's a good thing. And then I will obviously, as I said, I had a GoPro Hero camera ordered, and I have the accessories to be able to use that for mounting onto a helmet of some sort, whether it be a motorcycle helmet or a bike helmet or whatever type of helmet. And I also have the actual headgear to be able to use that on my head or over the top of a hat, and that will hold it together. I've also ordered the kit so that I can protect my back screens and my lens covers and my LCDs, so that I don't drop it, break it. And I have ordered 2 additional batteries for the GoPro, which are sitting here on charge. So hopefully, if everything goes according to plan tomorrow morning, I will have the GoPro coming in, so I'll be able to use that and be able to learn how to use it, so that when we do something this summer, maybe I'll be able to take some pictures and some photographs and be able to do something. Most of the things that I've been doing with my cameras have been Facebook. I've been doing stuff with my phone camera. So that's one thing that I've been doing, stuff with my phone camera. But I haven't been doing a lot of live stuff, and I haven't been doing live streaming, simply because the cameras I had were terrible, and they were unable to do that. This does work pretty well for doing it over a YouTube studio, because 90% of it is built into the system, so it shouldn't be too bad. However, I have noticed a difference. The reason why I have the web camera is because 90% of the time when I want to do something on YouTube, I have to bring out my Sony DCH 400, which is actually it's a DHC 400. It's a nice camera. It's a Sony. So what I have to do is I have to bring out that camera. I have to set that camera up. I have to bring out all my cords and my strips. Then I have to hook everything up. Then I have to make sure that I have it set the way I want it. Then I have to make sure I'm in front of it, and I have to make sure that I don't knock the camera down. With a web camera mount like this, the camera is on the top of the monitor. It's pointed at my head, and there shouldn't be any reason for thing to fall off unless something drastic happens. So when doing web videos or doing any type of video where I have to take photos or take video of action sequences, the easiest way to do that is to have a camera that you can take them with, or you have a way to be able to live stream the action. With the fact that this camera does work with YouTube, and I'm recording it in YouTube Studio now, it seems to be doing really well. So the only thing I have to do uh, logistically is to make sure that if I'm going to be doing any video uploading and editing and all that stuff, that I have the necessary tools. I have OBS. I have the OBS program, and I have Handbrake, which is another one that was suggested to me. And I also have several uh, videos that have to do with the GoPro. So hopefully I will be able to learn a lot about my GoPro. I'm very excited about this. The last time I spent this type of money was about 5 years ago to upgrade my video game platform so that I would have the most current system. And it's been working great. I have the ability to Skype on that, and I have the ability to Skype both on my television and on my monitor. So I'm really happy with that. Um, at this point, I'm not going to be running anything other than my voice, because if you so much as have anything in the audio realm running in the background, you run the risk of getting a strike, whether it be a copyright strike or a community guideline strike. And YouTube is being very, very hard on people who make mistakes like that. They've relaxed a little bit of the rules, meaning that they say that if you make a mistake and it would be something that would get you a strike, you wouldn't totally lose your channel unless it was very egregious, which means that you'd end up doing something that is very bad and would instantaneously lose your channel. But I don't think I have to worry about that. I've been very good at what I do. The people that know me know that I do the best I can with my videos. So what I'd like to be able to do is make this channel be more than just a whole bunch of videos just slapped on the channel and just go with it. When I first started this channel back in 2010, I had decided that I was going to do, stuff that has to do, talk about technology and help, and talk about technology, talk about the products that we use, and do some reviews, and do other types of things that are interesting. And then, of course, life happens, and then you don't get a chance to do as much as you want, and then things change. Things have changed for me since 2010. I am very, very happy. I'm the director of the Trinity Community Thrift Store in Montpelier. I run that 3 days a week. I've been helping people for close to 10 years. Even though I've only been director for 3, I worked in that position as the operations manager for 7.5 years before I took over. So I feel honored and feel very humbled that people trust me to be able to provide services that we do. And part of what makes my job fun and interesting and not boring is the fact that when you have so many people that you serve, people that need help, the people that if you know the people that need your help, sometimes you know that, and you don't even have to think about it. Sometimes people will come in and you don't realize it, but when they do, when you finally are able to help somebody that really needs it, just somebody that's lost, if somebody had a fire or a flood or some natural disaster and they lose things in their house, and you get somebody coming in and asking them for help, and you can help them. If you can help them and you can make sure they have what they need, whether it be a family a single person, couple, or something like that, or maybe a family of 4 or 5 or 6. You got a mother or father, or maybe a couple of kids or something like that, and you're able to help them. Um, that's why I do what I do, because I really, really, really enjoy helping people and making people happy. I know you can't solve all the problems in the world, and you can't make everybody happy, and you're not going to make everybody happy. Sometimes you have to be the bad guy and you have to set limits. But most of the time, if you do it the right way, you shouldn't have that much of an issue. I pride myself in the fact that I am a good listener. I always try to find ways to solve problems. I'm always trying to solve the problem if I can without having a major problem. And I've been lucky enough through my years of experience that I've only had a couple major problems that I have not been able to solve or that I needed help to solve. But most of the time, I'm able to solve problems because I always try to look for solutions. Part of the problem, part of the deal when you're managing people, you are you are a you're a tool. You have people come to you asking for your help, and you try to guide them. And instead of being a boss or a dictator, so to speak, or a person that's just giving instruction, you always try to teach while you're doing it, so that you're not just giving instruction and just saying, do it. And you always try to find somebody's good qualities and try to bring them out. And that's part of what makes my job special. Is everybody that you work with has a special talent. Everybody that you work with has their own quirks and their own special ways of doing things. You gotta find a way to you got to find a way when you're working with so many people to see if you can help people figure out how to do the right thing and everything else. And is important, what I think is important in my job is the fact that there are so many people who could use the help. Okay, and I try to help everybody. I don't really think that it's a good idea to not help someone. I try to help everyone. Of course, there's some people that you set limits, and you try to be helpful. You try to be available. You try to make people understand what's going on, and that may be different for somebody. But you always try to find the good in something that you do. You might not be able to make everybody happy, and you might have bad days, you might have good days. But for the most part, my job is really cool because you never know what you're going to get next. There are so many things that can happen during the day. I mean, look at this. I mean, back in 2009 when we started, I mean, I was helping a friend start a business, and he had help from several people to help him get started, and he ran it for 7.5 years or 8 years, no, 7.5 years, and then he decided that he was going to retire and move. So then he left it in my hands, and I've been running it ever since. And when you have somebody that starts a business like that and leaves you with the reins of the business and says, go ahead and do your best. And that's what I always try to do. I've always tried to find good ways of taking care of situations. Of course, we're not perfect. We make mistakes. We make decisions that we wish we didn't make. There's things and times in life that things change or whatever. But the funny thing is, I'm always thinking that God is always going to help you. God is going to help you in ways sometimes you don't understand. One of the things that makes it fun for me, and the thing thing that make it interesting is when I started, when I finished last year in 2019, we ended up closing down at the end of at the cycle. Our cycle usually runs from March of the current year to December of the current year. Then we take a couple months off and we come back in March. But in 2019 and 2020, everything got turned around backwards. We ended up coming in. Of course, I was doing the work I would normally do during a shutdown period, which would have been December, January, February. I'd opened about 4 or 5 times. We were making money. We were doing really well. And then what happened was we were having our spring sale, which was number 11. And then after that spring sale, we ended up with me being sick, and I could not do the sale because I was ill. So my staff members took over for me. And then right after that, during the time I was sick, between right around the 12th or 13th of March, everything just hit. By the 19th, we're in a full lockdown situation with COVID rampant all over the place. And I'm telling you, if there's one thing that I've learned through these types of situations, is whatever you consider to be normal, you throw the playbook away, because normal is whatever normal is to you 2 months ago is normal. It may not be normal to somebody else, but this is a special time when this is something that is totally unprecedented. If you think about World War II and what happened in World War II, you have people that say, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is what we need to do. And we do it. I mean, back in the days of World War I, World War II, we had people going in, servicing things. We make, aircraft companies would make Jeep seats and all this other stuff, and make uniforms and stuff like that. And it kind of reminds me of back in World War II. This is what I consider to be my generation's version of World War II, because it probably won't happen again for another 100 and some odd years where we have something as novel or as dangerous as COVID-19. So one of the things I've learned is not to take anything for granted. One of the things I've learned is your family is always going to be there. It's just they might not be, as close to you, but you'll always remember them. You'll always have them around you, whether they be in your head, whether they be a picture on your desk, whether they be something where, you talk to them on the phone every day, or you talk to them on Facebook or Zoom or whatever it is that you do. You always have your family available around, you always have your family around. Some people aren't as lucky. They might have lost their mother, their father, or their loved ones, some of them. But you always remember the most important part of this is the new normal is going to be with us for a while, whatever that happens to be. And if you know that you have a situation, as long as you have to keep everybody safe. But the main thing is, don't ever forget that you have friends, you have family. If you have friends or you have family, or you have people that you check in with, make sure you're doing that on a regular basis. Make sure that you're healthy. Make sure that you get enough sleep, that you're drinking enough water, that you're taking a walk or you're getting exercise. Make sure you're wearing a mask. Make sure if you're taking care of people and it's required, that you wear a mask and a shield, and that you that you do what you need, do what you need to do, and don't forget to take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. because people need to be, people usually, we're humans. We all like to have people around us. We like to have our friends, our families, our important, you know, important contacts. Right now, we can't do that very much because of COVID-19. But as I said, I try to keep in contact with my contacts every day or once a week. Some of them I'm in contact with every day, and you just have to roll with it. Um, we will get through this. We just have to keep up the physical distancing, the masking, the in whatever order the governor makes for us to follow. We may end up even with a modified order, but we have to keep doing what he's telling us. This is a very dangerous problem. We need to make sure that we are not exposing ourselves to risk. So if you're in the community and you're walking around, you're unable to distance, put a mask on and make sure that you are keeping, you know, keep put a mask on and make sure that you're protected. And one of the things that you always have to be aware of is on public transportation. Since there's so many people that use public transportation on a daily basis, they have differing rules for for transportation. One of them is uh, passenger limits on buses, depending on the bus. And one of the things that was said last week is if you're riding a public transit bus now, you must wear a mask. It is not something that is non-mandatory. It is mandatory, which means you must put a mask on when you board the bus. That protects everybody from everybody else, because everybody talks, everybody breathes, and they can spray and and do spit and everything else, and that stuff is airborne. So people need to be very cognizant of what they're doing. They need to make sure they have their masks. They have to make sure that if they're healthcare workers, that they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And if people do not do that and they refuse to do that, everybody that is in quarantine will be in quarantine longer. In cases where you have people that have immunodeficiency, or they're vulnerable. I don't like to use that word, but vulnerable. People that are vulnerable will end up getting this a lot easier than somebody that is a lot healthier. Um, Somebody can't say I'm 22 and I'm tough and I won't get it, because it's happened to people that are 20, people in their 20s. It's happened to people that are in their 60s. It's happened to people in their 70s. So age really doesn't matter. You gotta keep up doing what you're doing. Um, I know it's a pain in the neck. I know for myself, being inside for as long as I have, it gets a little stir crazy, but if we all do the right thing, we will get through this. God does not give us a challenge that He doesn't think that we can handle. I'm sure that the people that are working the phones and talking to individuals and reading documents and everything else and thinking about what they're doing, I'm sure that they're going through the same things in their heads, and they're trying to figure out the right thing to do and make sure, because they basically want to make sure that they don't have to close us down again. But people have to understand the reason why they have this stay-at-home order is to keep people safe. This is not a vacation. This is not some time that you know, go outside and start mingling with everybody on the street. This is a lockdown for a reason. There are people that think that these lockdowns are ridiculous. They're too long. They use political whatever to make the determination. But if if it were up to me, I would be more willing to be in a situation where I have to be extra careful and I'm in a lockdown, an extended lockdown for an extra month, if I could be reasonably sure that I wouldn't pick up the virus. Because this virus, you don't know who's going to get it, you don't know how it's going to happen, but usually it happens within 14, within 14 days whether you have the virus. I've been very, very lucky that I haven't had the virus. I have tried to do the best I could to make sure that I don't. Uh, but most of what is the most important thing is you got to take care of yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, then you're going to have a problem. So what I'm basically saying is we need to work together. We will get through this. Things happen, and we need to make sure that we take care of everybody else. This is a time when we need to come together, and we can get through this. And I can guarantee you, when we get out of this, we will have people that are very, very happy. But COVID-19 is still with us. We need to be vigilant. We need to keep going. We need to, need to keep doing the right things. And if we need to close down things or not cancel things or move things around, then, as long as people are remaining healthy, that's the way to do it. We can't afford to have people getting sick and then have to be in a hospital or overloading things. But as far as as I said, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to make sure that we're healthy, and I'm going to continue to do exactly what I'm supposed to do to make sure I'm healthy. And hopefully, everybody else will do the same thing. So, I just wanted everybody to know that I'm here. I'm okay, and we will get through this. And if anyone needs anything from me, they can reach out to me via telephone, via email, via Twitter, via Skype, or via Zoom, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. So this is Brian from buddy-baker.us. Have a good night.